Hello, God's people. Thank you for joining us today. It's another day. Beautiful, beautiful world that is yet to realize some pretty important truths. So we can be grateful for one thing at the very least. In that regard, it's that we have another day to teach those people who don't still understand what those truths are that we've been trying to reveal for quite a few years now. But bear with me. I hope you don't mind. If you already know about this, maybe this at the very least can give you yet another identical tool to something that you're already quite familiar with. And that is a hidden truth. The hidden truth that's been revealed in our day. And what am I talking about? Well, talking about the Bible Code, and more specifically, more verifiably, the Torah Code. Yeah, I know, we talk about this a lot, but it's important to understand. And I know that, all of our people could use a refresher at some point or another. I know I can. So I pulled up one of our old teachings. Let's see if I can see when this was posted. I posted this in Raylight Teachings May 13th, 2016. Well, that wasn't the original post. Actually, this is an updated version, but that's alright. I don't mind reading it for you. I appreciate the question that one of my friends had given me in private, and I almost responded arrogantly when they'd asked a question about it, assuming that you should know about this, but that's okay. Now's the time. So, thank God. I appreciate you asking me about it, and I'm happy to answer. So, God willing, we can answer in a way that you'll understand. So, let's talk about what the Torah Code is, and specifically the method used to acquire the Torah Code as we utilize it is called the ELS, which is an acronym for Equidistant Letter Skip. It's an equal skipping of letters, and in the case of Bible Code, and especially Torah Code, we do an equal skipping of letters in the original Hebrew. That's without the vowels. So it's pretty specific. I know a lot of people out there try to discredit Torah Code research or Bible Code research by utilizing some other book out there that has a whole lot of words and letters in it, and they say that they can find just about any message in there too, just because there's a lot of words to search from. The argument has been made about Moby Dick, War and Peace, even in this case the dictionary with a private conversation I'm referencing, and I'll explain the difference and how those things don't really apply. They're not comparable to the Torah when it comes to the code that's used, the equidistant letter skip, the ELS. The hidden message within the Bible is unique to the Bible. In no other book in any existence under the sun that we live under today has there ever been a book that's been discovered that can find or reproduce the same results. Insurmountable odds against random occurrence, sometimes 1 in over a trillion statistical odds against random occurrence, found in many of our Torah Code discoveries. I'm talking about the EOC's Torah Code discoveries, the Ecumenical Order of Christ, the order which I have represented beside brother and sisters for many years now. No other ELS contains relatable, relevant, contextually relevant terms in such close proximity within the matrix table. That's that Torah Code image that you see on the screen. All those letters everywhere, to you it might look like a crossword puzzle or something, but it's really not. It's called a matrix table. It's what's produced when we find the skipping of letters, which is represented by the vertical term in red in the middle, well, the table itself is a reproduction of all the scriptures that line up with the equidistant letter skip. Okay? So when you're seeing diagonal terms there, other vertical terms, those are a part of this matrix table. Those are a part of that exact discovery, and those terms that are in such close proximity to the same equidistant letter skip, which in itself has its own insurmountable odds against random occurrence, increase the odds even further, which we don't account for when paired with those other terms and their contextual relevance, which cannot be quantified. Contextual relevance cannot be quantified. So it's beyond scientific ability to quantify how against random chance these discoveries truly are. That in itself is proof that these are well beyond anything you could find in any other book. And I assure you, you cannot find this sort of contextual relevance within a matrix table of any other work under the sun. So, this proves unequivocally that there is divine purpose, intelligent design from the author, and the story goes, I don't know if you know anything about the Torah, but I forgive you if you don't. I'll retell the story. God told Moses what to write, letter for letter, the entire 5 books, the first 5 books of the Bible. Okay? Think about that. And think about how we utilize Torah for Torah Code as the most reliable form of finding God's hidden message. There you have it. It's direct from God. We're simply discovering God's message. It's not our message. It's God's message. And we're revealing it to you as we discover it. Isn't that amazing? Come on. Let's share in God's glory. Because it's the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings to search out a matter. Proverbs 25, verse 2. So that's merely the beginning of the astounding nature of this field of research. And it truly is a field of research, both scientific and theological. So in some very dramatic cases, extremely detailed and accurate predictions were also discovered within the Torah Code. And these were, in many cases, before the events even occurred that we discovered these things. It's pretty amazing. Some examples of some predictive codes that are really popular to the public, things that, if you look it up on Wikipedia, you'll find out that these predictions were found in the Bible Code and the Torah Code. Man's landing on the moon, the Schumacher-Levy Jupiter explosions, and most famously, the assassination of former Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. These were all predicted before they occurred. But what you may not have heard of, unless you're an avid follower of the work of the EOC, there are predictions that have been discovered more recently by Torah Code researcher and Prime Cleric Richard Ruff of the EOC. These predictions include a polar vortex that we call a glacial chastisement, beginning on December 2013, discovered on November 2013. An entire month before it occurred, this code was discovered for an event which was a complete surprise by meteorologists all over the world. Not a single scientist knew this was coming, but God did, and revealed it to one of his messengers. And his messenger obeyed and revealed it to all of you. Interesting. Interesting proof that can only be found in the Bible Code and the Torah Code. So what happened in this event? Well, it was a record freeze and snowfall that occurred in many parts of the world that continued onward for years to follow. Continued a cycle of frozen chastisements throughout the entire world. That was the beginning of it. Now we are seeing what ancient Sumerians referred to as Nibiru, also known as the Nemesis star system, Herculobus, which was predicted also and discovered through the Torah Code by Cardinal Richard Ruff before it occurred. But most important and world-changing discovery yet today, and one that all other Torah Code researchers fear the results of, therefore omit, the identity of the Messiah. I'm going to say this again. The identity of the Messiah is proven in the Torah Code and Bible Code, and all other researchers out there except the EOC have omitted, removed this evidence from their research. That's the truth. That's the big, fat truth that they ignore. Christians love to eat up that prophecy predictive nature of the Bible Code, but all those researchers, those charlatans that utilize their Christian audience even though they themselves don't believe in the same things. I'm talking about you, Rabbi Glazerson. I know most of your audience is Christian, and I know you are lying to your audience, and so do you. You realize that fact when you and I met face to face and discussed this, how to correctly spell the Messiah's name and look for anything that could disprove him when you spell his name correctly, sir. You couldn't do it. In fact, you only found proof that he is the Messiah. In fact, you still refuse to include in your research and continue to omit from your research willfully, with knowledge. You know better now. No more excuses for you, sir. And I won't call you Rabbi, because you're not a master of what you do anymore. This research can be verified by anyone with the ability and the knowledge. We encourage such research to be scrutinized. That's why we challenged Rabbi Glazerson to do so, and that's why he backed down, because the truth hurts, especially when you have 2,000 years of guilt weighing heavily on your collective hearts, O Israel. And we await any Torah Code scholar to accept the challenge. None have yet to do so, because all are cowards, fearful more of each other than they are of God. Very sad. But until someone steps forward to do this very thing, the truth must be observed. The truth must be acknowledged, and the truth must be revealed. So these mathematically verifiable and prophetic discoveries cannot be overlooked. Not by you, not by me, not by any scientist, not by any theologian, and certainly not by any other Torah Code researcher. So, with that, I love you very much, and I'll see you soon.